gentlemen, today we're making history. This flight 757 is a maiden flight out of JFK Airport, flying into Argyle International Airport.
Dedication and desperation, nationals made their contributions, eliminating our frustration. From our neighboring islands, their taxes so high, we want to cry. Cuba, Taiwan and Venezuela.
Here in this area where they're taking down the bankside, you know, if you can remember all here how it used to be. It wasn't as flat as nice as this area that you're looking at now. As I look across there at the cargo terminal building, I can see on this end they start to whitewash the plastering section of the wall. At the bottom we have stone walls, so there is no need for painting, you know. But all here is where we're going to have the hangar for the aircraft, but they're continuing to take down this bankside, and it looks as though this is the height to which they're going to take it down. All here, well, as you know by now, as I told you earlier, it's lunchtime, so nothing is happening, but work was taking place here earlier up this morning as I come here to look at the work. But the guys are currently on lunch. The only people who I see working now are those persons who are doing the concrete works down there on the cargo apron, because once you start these concrete works in that section of the work, you have to complete it, and when it is completed, then the guys will go for their lunch. But all in front of us here, you know, there were two structures here not too long ago, all the way up in about 3 or 4 months ago. Now these structures have been removed. This area has been graded, leveled off now to what it is right now, and we are seeing a nice flat area here, this area where they're going to put the hangars for the aircraft. So the work continues here at the airport site as we come week after week looking at the progress of the work here. I am helping out here, I'm doing my own thing, and I know you appreciate what I'm doing. There are some people that meet me and they ask me about updates. Sometimes I can't make it due to circumstances beyond my control, and when some of the viewers who are looking forward for these YouTube videos on the progress of the work at the airport, they complain to me, I have not seen anything for last week or so and so forth. But you know, once I can make it, I will do my best. Sometimes when I come, I can't. It all depends on the weather condition and how much time I have to do what I have to do. But once I can do it, I will do it for you. Sometimes my work schedule at home, in other works that I have to do, my own private work, takes up most of my time, and I just don't have the time to go through these videos because I have to edit them before I start to put them up to get the best out of my work so that you can have an enjoyable viewing. So please try and understand, and I appreciate you looking forward for these videos. It tells me that I am doing something worthwhile and important, that you could come week after week to look to see what is taking place.
Hello. Hi Mom, it's your daughter Andrea. We've just landed at the...
As you would see, and by now you would know, there has been a great deal of emphasis placed on the drainage system here at the Argyle International Airport site. Many of us would know the problems that we have at E.T. Joshua when it rains, and that drain running down there by Graves area, what happens to the airport site because of the fact that the airport is below the road. Now, to avoid all of this problem here at the airport at Argyle, we have a significant amount of drainage system being put in place. And now what we're looking at here is another of them. Now, this one is located, and let us say you're coming down from the main road coming towards the terminal building, which is just there on my right. Now, we have a drain going towards the right and one going towards the left, of the road and one coming towards the right. The one that is coming towards the right is the one that you're looking at here. And now this water will be coming down because you see they already start the work there. They put, we have a concrete base already gone in where you have all that water settled up there. And this will be coming all the way down alongside this area here and heading way back out. You see they start digging the trench, and this trench will be going out back out towards the end where it just came from in the area to link up with other drains that will take water down into that drain in front of us there, just in front of the terminal building and over to the 191 channel. Now in front of us here on the ground we have some PVC pipes, and we noticed last week when I came here, sometime last week I visited here, just paid a short visit, and I took some photograph of them. They came in sometime the week before. Now we see them here on this side of the airport. I am not sure what is going to take place with them, but I'm just showing you them lining up there, and to me they look like water pipes, but I don't know. Water pipes in terms of drainage, but I don't know how they're going to work them out, because as you can see where they're lining up there, it shows or tells me that they're not going far away from where they are fitted up there. But as time goes on, as I continue coming here at this site, I probably will get a better understanding as to what is taking place, or if I can see one of the supervisors and ask a little bit of question as to what is the purpose of these pipes, then I will be able to better tell you. But until such time, I can't say much about it, but just to show you that they are here and they are here for a purpose. About 2 or so Saturdays ago when I came here, they were just fitting up the steel for this sort of work, and now we see that some of it has been done. The concrete has been poured, boxing in up to this point we're looking at in front of us here. But further up to the northern end, we still are seeing some steel, so the work will continue. This is a retaining wall being put here to keep up the bank side there. As you can see here, all work is going on here. I am not too familiar with what is taking place, but I am seeing work is happening. The guys are currently on lunch break and will be coming back at 1. Down here on the ground we see an island, and this no doubt will what you call a roundabout. In the center of that they will have flowers being planted. The vehicles no doubt will be driving around that area in a controlled way, where the traffic will be controlled here at the airport site when all of this work is completed. But so this is piece of what I'm showing you here. And over under the walkway over there, you can't see it from here, but actually they are putting down some stone wall on the pavement, the flooring. In the center we have a concrete section, and on both sides we have the stone wall. The concrete section, as far as I'm gathered, is for when you have your bags, where you have to pull those bags with wheel. You won't have to be pulling them on the stone part, you pull it on the concrete section. So you're walking on the stone area, and your bag in your left or right hand, depends on which hand you're using, will be pulled along the concrete section of that walkway underneath that area up there under the shaded part.
Nationals made their contributions, eliminating our frustration.
There you can see another box, and I can tell you this is another drainage system. This one is running right in front of the terminal building. So there you can see we have a number of drainage. No water will be able to flood this airport, I can tell you that for sure.
Achievement, they are lifesavers when we need good neighbors. Argyle International Airport, we flying. Argyle International Airport, we landing. Argyle International Airport.
If you notice the water running towards this drain, and my back is turned to the terminal building. This drain is taking the water over to where we have the 191, and this drain is passing in front of the terminal building on the air side of the terminal building. This water is coming all the way from over there. So a drain like this one we have right here will be going all the way over there. Up to what point I don't know. So that the water that will be coming from that side will actually be flowing through this drain and taking the water all the way down through here, back out over on the northern end over there and into the 191 channel. So we see a lot of drainage has been put in, a lot of emphasis being placed on the drain. So we won't be having any problem with flooding. I don't think that will ever happen. Now right in front of us here we still have concrete works to go on here, where you see those extension of the steel here going to be linked over here. We're going to have concrete works here. We still have concrete works here on this section of the apron to be done, and this work will be going all the way up in front of the terminal building. So all these concrete works still left to be done here at the airport side, and this work will continue no doubt all the way down to the cargo terminal building as the work here and the drainage system continues, and as we progress towards the completion of this our Argyle International Airport.
We are now seeing it through. May peace reign on our beautiful shores.
What I have gathered is that when this drainage system that they're doing there for the 191 is completed and the water is now channeled through the blocks area to go down into the tunnel, all this area in front of us here, from the apron go right back to where they're putting up the drainage there, will be filled, and the concrete works just like that on the apron area in front of us here. This concrete works will continue all the way across to that area where they are putting down the blocks. So right in front of us here where we have those steel extending in this section of the commercial apron, this concrete works will go right across this area and link up over there to where they're building the drainage system. And what I've learned also is that that area over there, planes will be able to park in that area. This drain here right in front of us that is coming from the southern end, just in the area of the cargo terminal, cargo apron area, this will continue towards the end, and the same level it is going across with. All here where I'm standing will be filled and will be concreted going right across. And this drain no doubt will be covered with these steel metal covers that we have behind us here. These drains will be covered with these same black metals here, so they can be removed in the event that you have to clean. The drain is blocked and you have to clean, because this drain is running parallel to the apron area, and the aircrafts will be running over, passing over these covers here, over these drains to get to the apron. So in order to get underneath there, should it be blocked, we have to be able to have something that can be removed and allow a man to get underneath it. So all that area down there we're looking at, when that work is finished and the water is now running through the drain, all that area we will see here that looking so hilly and so forth will be filled up with dirt and leveled off, bringing it to a nice level. And you will see the work as the work continues here at the airport site here at Argyle. I am now over here close to where they're doing the drain, and as you would know by now, we have 3 sections, 2 on the outer edge and 1 in the center, where we have steels, and you can see the work, how they're doing the work down there now. We have blocks in 3 areas, blocks on both sides, and blocks run in the center. But what I have observed is that at certain intervals there aren't any blocks. So I'm still trying to figure out why this is so. I got the distinct impression that they were going to put blocks right down the center. But from what I'm seeing here, it could very well be that there is going to be a space in between. I am not sure, because from what I have seen first, I thought that there are two different sets of waters that are going to be running through these drains here. We're going to have the water from the river running through one side and the runoff water from the airport side running through the other. But I don't know exactly if this is going to be the case based on what I'm seeing here with those spaces leaving out there. But what I can tell you, where this drain is going right back over there to where we have the apron, when these drains are finished, all this area will be filled, because the water that is currently running down in the side there will be channeled through this area. So the water will be running down over there, and all this area where I'm standing going right back out there to where they have gotten with the apron concrete works. All this area going to be filled up and stones are going to be laid, compacted, and we're going to have a nice piece of concrete works coming right across to this point. So this is the progress of the work that we have here at the extension of the 191 channel, where we're going to have the water from off the runway and the water that will be coming down in this constant flowing stream, going through to the tunnels, right back down towards the sea. Not in the section where the Argyle River is running, but it's going to go more southward in a different location, but exiting at the sea. It's lunchtime, you know, but these guys, they are still working. They say they don't watch time. They have intention and they love what they're doing, so they're doing their work through their lunch hour. Sometimes they call themselves the A team. And if you can recall, sometime we had an API program. They were featured here. They are working here on this blocks work here. And you remember some time ago they were giving some incentive, depends on how much blocks they run, and who run the most blocks in a day, in the given day, would have received a prize, a sort of motivation. And they're working here through their lunch hour when others are on lunch. I just ask them if they're not going to lunch, and they say they don't watch lunch, they don't watch no face, they have a work to do, and they do the work. And this is very commendable, you know. There are some people, they will take their lunch hour. Lunch hour start about 11:45, and it never ends until 1:15. So you could imagine how much hour is that lunch hour. And a lot of people here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines don't value their work, their employers' time. You find quite often that they will leave for their lunch early, spend the whole lunch hour outside of the job, and when they come back from the lunch hour, they come in with their lunch and need time to eat. So they want more than the lunch hour. And don't talk to them, because they're the first to get vexed if you pull them up. But this is how it goes with our people. We don't value our work time. We don't value our employers' time. We only place that value on our time. How early we get, how early we leave. We get into work late sometimes, and we want to be the first to leave. We do not even want to give an extra 5 minutes if asked to do so. We start to grumble. But every time we have something to do, we want some of our employers' time to do our own personal business. But when you have people who give up their time without looking back for anything, it is very commendable. And people like these, you can never be hard on, because you know that you're getting more than value for the pay that you're giving them. Here is where the water is running temporarily while they do the work there on the drainage system. All here used to be bush, bamboo patch. I couldn't walk all here. There's a temporary bridge across here, because the vehicles have to get down there, and a temporary trench has been created to flow the water through this narrow area as the guys continue the work there on this section of the bridge. Now those space that I show you in the center, they're going to remain like that. So the water from the stream here and the runoff water, all of them are going to mix up together, going down into the catchment down there where we have. All here at the 191 channel, you see a considerable amount of earthworks has been done to fill up this area where we are going to have the runway. Now the tunnel has been put in place, the concrete pour on the tunnel, and here filled up with dirt and stone mixed together. And as the work continues here, and over in that section up there where you see those steels with the yellow tape, that should be the center of the runway, and that area has been filled up and the work continues. We have to do the river spanning, the 220 area, which is currently being worked on. But as I speak with you, it is still lunch period, which will be ending in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. But the work continues here at the site, and they are just waiting to have this area filled where they're going to be able to put down the base stones, compact it, and start to spray on the asphalt oil, and then get everything in readiness for the paving of this section of the runway that is still waiting to be done.
Hello. Hi, Mom. It's your daughter Andrea. We've just landed at the Argyle International Airport.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
I am here traveling on the old Argyle Road, and this is the piece of road that is north of the Argyle Bridge here, the old Argyle Bridge that has been broken down. You know, years ago, before the new Argyle Road built, this is the road that we once used to use. Now, since the work here at this site, we have had a lot of heavy equipment driving up and down along this road. Trucks loaded with stone, caterpillars moving from one end to the next. But what I have noticed with this road, in spite of all that heavy machinery that has been traveling on this road is still intact. Very strong piece of road, very well done piece of road. We don't have the set of drainage here on this road, and I believe there isn't that much drainage because those drains because of the fact that where the road is situated. Maybe if this area was actually a residential area, then we would have had to have drainage because the water from the runoff from the houses will eventually want somewhere to run. But because the water that falls here is just from the rain, this road still looks good. It still looks good. Few cracks, yes, maybe from the weight, but the compaction of this road has been excellent. And I would hope that in the future, the people who are building our roads can place some emphasis on the compaction of the road. And what I have noticed very often is that after they finish doing a piece of road, they have to go back and cut out a patch and patch it over. And this to me helps to weaken that area of the road. Because you're traveling on the Windward Highway, in the area between Stubbs and Kingston, you will find some areas that are cut out after the work has been done and put back. But I would love to see that when our people are doing our roads in the future, that we place some emphasis on the compaction of the road. I can tell you from looking at the works being done on the asphalt work of the airport site, the runway, those asphalt work that they do, every time they do some compaction work, the guys go in with a piece of equipment, lay it down on the asphalt itself and get a reading. I do not know what reading they look for, but this piece of equipment is a piece of equipment that helps to tell them how well that asphalt compaction is done. If it's going to stand the pressure or if it's going to crumble under pressure. And this is what we want to have. I do not know if it happens here where our roads are concerned, but in the future, if it does not happen, this is something that we love to see. When people are doing our roads, they do the necessary tests to ensure that the compaction is very good, so that when we use our road, we won't have to be fixing too often. Now as I look here, I'm walking along the seaside. Now something I have noticed very remarkable here is that this area of the sea, when I passed here, was very stony and rocky, but now we're seeing black sand all along the beach, coming all the way down from the river right back up to that area where they have done the backfilling. And I don't know what happens. Maybe the sea has its time when it takes the sand away and a time when it pushes the sand back on the shore. But all this area once used to be stony, I can tell you, because I've been coming here every Saturday most times, and I have seen it for myself. Now the stones are now covered and we are seeing the sand here on the beach, and it's looking so tempting that you want to go and get a dip. The sand looking so nice and smooth and clean here at the Argyle site, the Argyle sea area, as I travel along the seashore here, going towards the north of the airport site. Some months ago, our seashore coastal area was covered with some brown weed referred to as sagazam weed. Now after all of that bad moment, here we have in this area of Argyle Beach, where we usually see a lot of stones on the shore, we are now seeing the black sand covering the stones, stretching from all the way below me here, going way back down to where the river exits. So this to tell you that something is happening here. The seawater is washing the sand back onto the shore after taking away the sand. And I don't know if all of this has to do with the amount of dirt and so forth that has been dumped here at the side of this seaside, that we have enough sand washed and can be washed back onto the shore. But this is what it looks like after a few months or weeks of this brown ugly looking weed here on our beach here at Argyle. We are now seeing some black sand, what we are accustomed to seeing here on our beach here in St. Vincent.
Achievement, they are lifesavers when we need good neighbors. Argyle International Airport, we flying. Argyle International Airport.
We are here at the eastern end of the 220 channel, and we see that at the sides of these channels that they would have built up the concrete, but in the middle where we have the tunnels, they still have a little bit of filling to be done, not much. And also there, that concrete works at the end there, they still have a little bit more to do where those steels are extending to do some concrete works. But the filling up here is continuing, and the compacting also is continuing, because between the last time I came here and did some video footage and now, there has been a considerable amount of earthworks filling up in this area here where we had the river once running, and there is not a great deal of work going on here right now. Trucks are coming with dirt, yes, but they are just few and far in between. The grader is up there in the distance. We have trucks have been dumping loads of dirt there, and the grader is grading it off. Now at the top end, the western end of the 220 channel, we have some concrete works taking place. As you can see, that concrete truck just came from up there where it has dumped its load of concrete. And earlier in the morning when we passed, remember they were pouring concrete at the cargo apron area, and I told you that they were only going to do two sections of that based on what I have seen. Now this afternoon, now they are concentrating on the other end of the 220 channel where they have those corrugated metal frames. They're filling up that area with concrete. But when I get up there, you're going to have a closer look as to what is taking place there. This is what we have here now. Quite a lot of filling, as many of you who knew what here used to look like, we know that the river was running there once, and it's just somewhere around August or thereabout they changed the flow of the river through the tunnel and started to fill up this area here with dirt. And now look at the level it has come. This is going to have to come to the height of the area where the runway is on the northern end up there, and the other end going towards the south. This area will have to be built up to come to that level so that we can have the laying down of the base stones and the compacting of those stones and the other works that will take place there on that segment of the work where we're going to have the runway passing. Over there we have a compactor compacting the dirt that has been leveled off, making sure that it is firm. Coming down there, just in that area over there is another truck coming to this point where we have the grader with a truckload of dirt to continue to build up. And they're building up these areas in segments as they compact it. As you can see, the stakes that are placed there on the ground, they are building up between those stakes, and as they build up one area they move to another and they continue doing this work until the work has come to the level they want it to come to. All the concrete slabs are there on the side of the area of the 220 channel, and just waiting for the pouring of the concrete to build up this side here. A couple trucks loaded with concrete has just poured their loads between those two corrugated metal sheets in there of the 220. And the two guys who were there working, guiding the truck, they have left and gone down to the eastern side. I'm not too sure why, or if that is the end of the concrete, or if they're going to concentrate on down there. But this is what we have taken place here at the 220 channel. The filling up, the continuation of the filling up of this area with concrete right up to the end. We also have the compaction and the filling up of dirt and compacting here as the work continues here at the airport site.
That's an engineer to this land, like no building is when the people laugh. Vincent Chanswoman abroad, supporting with on abroad.
Now they have moved with the concrete filling from the western side, and then now turn their attention down here to the eastern end where we have a small portion to be done. So they are going to finish up this section here, and then their concentration will be on the western side where we have a bit of work still left to be done up there in terms of the concrete filling. But most of the concrete filling here at the 220 channel, more than 75%, about 85% and thereabout has been completed, and here they are just doing a small portion here in this area on the eastern side where there was just a small section to be done. So this is what we have here at this side of the airport site. There is not a great deal of work going on per se. We have the work here at where the concrete works. We have the filling up of this area. I have not seen any fencing workmen here today. We had some work done at the cargo apron area, and at the front of the terminal building we also have work. And that area of the 191 we had some guys working on. And down at the south at the McConaughey Hill we also have some works going on. We are here at the Petroglyph Hill, and for quite some time now we have not had any blasting of these rocks, and that is because the drills that usually drill the holes in which the explosives are being placed, they have been done for quite a while. These drills are very old drills, and the volume of work that they have to do here is very much a great task for them, and we find them breaking down quite often. So as a result of that, we have had some held up here with the blasting of these rocks. However, those that have been blasted before, we have had some removal of these, and nothing much can be done after this until the drills are up and can do the drilling of the hole. We still have a bit more of this hill to come down, but unless the drills are functioning, we cannot really have any sort of work done here in terms of bringing down this hillside. I am here in the porch of that first house, the house that has been acquired by the IADC. The house closest to the east, looking from the apron side, and looking back down there where they're doing the block works here in this area of the 191 channel. And these blocks are coming all the way up here, way back up to the top up there, where it's going to connect with the drain that brings the water, and all the water from over there coming down off the hill from the road and from the land side of the airport, going to run through here, through this tunnel and down to the sea area. So this is what we are seeing from this porch, looking back to the airport. A very good view from here. You can see right down at the south at the airport end down there, the taxiways, the 3 taxiways, the apron, the terminal building. Looks beautiful from here, and the work is not fully completed, but already you can see that beautiful picturesque site of this Argyle International Airport, with the green hillside in the background, really giving it such beauty, such splendor. And we have some nice cloud patterns all around the site, and this will be a marvelous airport, a magnificent airport. This will be the most picturesque airport in the Caribbean when this Argyle International Airport is completed. So let us all continue to hope and pray that this work will come to its completion very soon, and we all will be able to enjoy what we have looked forward to for so long, and what many of us Vincentian have worked on over the years to bring this to where it is today. And down there we have what they call themselves the A team, doing the work down there on this section of the works here at the 191. As you can see, there are joints there where they're going to put concrete works to join the blocks together. They have plastered the inside of the blocks, and there are spaces left out in strategic areas so that as the water flow, they will flow from side to side, going right down into that catchment down there. We have 2 catchments. One would just right there where you have, right in that area you're looking at there is 1 catchment, and it's a built up area. That area is stepped down, it's down, and then in front of that we have a built up area, so the water coming through from these tunnels will settle up, then all the sand and other stuff will settle at the bottom, and then that water will flow up, overflow, and then flows into the catchment down there where we have that covering down at the bottom down there where you see that gentleman is standing there, and then that water will flow all the way down to the seasides. From my observation, the water on the site, it runs from the south to the north into these drains. So the area is being done in such a way that it has a gradient, that a slope on it, that you cannot see it with your naked eyes, but when you look at the way the water flows, you can tell that it is being done in that way, because the water is not really settling up in any area unless there is a sink. But once there isn't that sink, the water flows from the south to the north into this drain that we are looking at below us here.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're making history. This flight 757 is a maiden flight out of JFK Airport, flying into Argyle International Airport.
Dedication and desperation. Nationals made their contributions, eliminating our frustration. From our neighboring islands, their taxes so high, we want to cry. Cuba, Taiwan and Venezuela, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, embracing our commitment, witnessing our achievement. They are lifesavers when we need good neighbors. Argyle International Airport, we flying. Argyle International Airport, we landing. Argyle International Airport, we progressing. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it's a blessing. A visionary with an illustrious plan. The gods put a blessing on this man, building with no money in hand. Fidels and engineers to this land.
I am here back. I was here earlier, no work was going on, but now I return. We have some concrete works taking place here where they are doing this back wall here in the parking area at the front side, the side towards the land here at the terminal building. And you notice further up in the 220 they were doing some concrete works also, so the concrete is being shared, some going up at the 220 and some coming right here where they're doing this back wall. You see the workmen in action. The pump truck is in action. There we have a concrete truck packed up, loading, and behind me there is another concrete truck waiting to offload its load here where they are doing this concrete works. Now right in front of us here we have one of the lab people who doing the test. This concrete is kept in this container for a couple days, I don't know how long, and it has been set there, and after a while they remove it. They also do the check for the concrete, the consistency of the concrete before it is being used here on site, and once it has passed that test it will be used. So this is what we have happening here at this section of the work. It is going on here at the front side of the airport site where they are pouring concrete here in this boxing that they would have built over the past week. Here we are seeing other aspects of the work, and what you're seeing here right now, they're putting on the boxing where they're going to put some concrete works here, as you continue straight down along this path. This area in front here looks to me like if it's going to be a roadway, but I'm not too sure as yet. Maybe when I get to Haksha I can ask him. He's actually busy right now, so I don't want to disturb him from his work. But you see what is going on up there. You see a gentleman, he is doing some finishing work. He's plastering and nicing up that wall that has been done previously. So this is what we have here at the front side. That is the side that you come to when you're going where there are two sides as far as I can tell. The air side and the land side. The air side is where the airplane will come in, and the land side is where you will come when you are going away, or when you come back to St. Vincent, when you pass immigration and all the other checkpoints and come back onto the land. We call it a land side.
History. This flight 757 is a maiden flight out of JFK Airport, flying into Argyle International Airport.
We have seen just a while ago the trucks were pouring concrete down there. Now we are about to have concrete poured in this boxing. And what I have just gathered from the supervisor action, this is the siding of, you know where you have a slip drain? Well, this is the siding of the drain. Next to this we're going to have that slip drain. Then we're going to have a sidewalk, and we're going to have the 2 lanes and a sidewalk on both on the other side. So this lane, this road here will be taking the traffic out, because this will be on the left. This will be taking the traffic to go out back onto the main road. And if I turn with you and look over here, you see where you have this island here where the 2 centerpiece, you know there was a centerpiece coming down all the time from in the middle of the road. Well, the centerpiece now coming, this area has spread out in a sort of, what should I say, a wider angle down at the bottom down here. So the vehicles going out will pass in this route. Those coming in will come down on the outer end, go right around maybe over there where we have the island, drop off the passenger and make the wrongs right around and come back out to where I'm standing. But what we have happening now, they are about to pour concrete in this boxing that they're fitting up. If you notice, they would have already done a part here where we have this gentleman doing some plastering work, and you can see the boxing of some of them still up. They would have already done this, and they're going to put a drainage system here, a sidewalk, and the road going to go here. Those black stuff that you see there, those are going to go under the ground, and you're going to have a manhole, and all the water that runs off from the road will run through into that manhole and go through those pipes and down into the other areas, the collecting areas, and down through the 191 over into the sea. Now you're seeing the centerpiece, how it moves from that narrow piece and spreads out into a wider angle. So all inside you're going to have some nice flower plants plant here along with the lights and all that. Notice the shape, and like I've told you, over there where the truck is, that is the left hand side. So vehicles leaving the airport site will be coming out from that area and going up. Those coming in, no doubt they will be passing in this on the left side, and they make their way down here, and I believe that they will go all the way down. I'm not too sure as yet, but if they're going to drop off passenger, you will go as close as you can to the airport side. So probably they may go all the way down there around that island we have in the back down there, and drop off the passengers and pick up the passengers and head all the way back down, come around that area down there and out on that side. So this is the work we have so far here at the land side of the car park and terminal building area, where the work continues here to the Saturday, the 31st day of October 2015. And incidentally, this is the final day in the month of October for 2015. These galvanized sheeting for the cargo terminal building are not as the ordinary sheeting. They're just in single section about 1 foot wide, and they fit over onto each other in a sort of lap in a small groove like, and to get them to fit down, the guys have to pong them into place to get one to lock into the next when they're putting them up, and they're going up one piece at a time. So maybe that is why it has taken so long to have this roof on, because you remember some time ago we saw a bit of it, and one would be saying by now all of the sheeting should be on, but they have to put them in one piece at a time. Imagine you putting in at least a sheet of galvanized about 12 inches wide. You could imagine how much time it's going to take. One single piece is 12 inches and one piece at a time. So it's going to take some time to get this work completed. But the guys are working right now at the front. As I pass down, they are there fitting them on. So things are happening here on this area of the work.
A visionary with an illustrious plan. The gods put a blessing on this man.
Not too long from now, you can very well find work on the fencing area, work on the fencing of the airport site starting in this area. Why do I say this? Because as you can see here on the ground, we have stakes are in place to give us an indication as to where the fencing is going to pass. And now if I turn around and I look back at this side, I can show you where the fencing that has already been installed, where you have it coming in line with the same piece of steel, and going all the way alongside this area we have steel being put in place to indicate where the fencing is going to run.
A portrait of SPG, sacrifice from you and me. Whatever future brings, we are now seeing it through. May peace reign on our beautiful shores.
This morning we saw them dumping dirt here at this section of the Breadfruit Gutter area, where we have the extension of the culvert. It doesn't look to me as if they had done any extra work here. I am not sure. Maybe they bring up this piece a little bit higher. Not too sure exactly what has taken place here. But now you can see a number of stones being dumped here to build back up this bank, because when it rained, the water had washed away the dirt into that area down at the bottom down here. So now they have to build it back up, because the fencing will be passing right in this area. Like I've just shown you some steel stakes. Here we have some. Apparently the trucks, some of the vehicle ride over them and push them apart. But as I stand here, right, looking right back to the fencing up there, you can see those that they have put down already to mark the spot where they're going to drill the hole for those poles for the fencing. You can see the alignment already. There in place we have the siding for the footing for the fencing. So this tells us the next time that I come back on this area, on the site to visit, I will be seeing fencing in this area where I'm right standing here showing you, where I just show you the back there where the steels are. Maybe from tomorrow, who knows when they will start to put down these footing for the fencing. Start to drill the holes. First of all, you have to drill the holes and then put in the boxing, fit in the poles in the holes and pour the concrete. And then by next week, for sure, I believe if all goes well, when I come back here to visit, I will see some fencing extending all the way, maybe all the way down here, because as you can see, we have in front of us here another piece of steel, and this is carrying us way back down. So it's showing you the line that the fencing will take. Here is the steel right in front of us, and not too far from where I'm standing here, there is another one somewhere down there in the distance, giving us the lineup of where this fencing will run. Now this is in the area of the western side of area where you call the Breadfruit Gutter, where we have the mouth of the gutter under the first kilometer of the runway. So come next week when we visit again, we are going to see some works here being done in regards to the fencing here on the western side of this airport site. I just look around there and saw these lights on the control tower building. So it looks as though the electrical works are in. I am not sure if it will be lighted otherwise other than those red lights, but just want you to have a look at it, because in all my visits here, it's the first time I'm seeing the lights there at the top of this building. But I'm down here at the southwestern end in the area of the Makani Hill. I am on my way out actually, and usually I pass by this area here where I started as I end my trip here at the site. The caterpillars are still on the hill, and maybe you can hear the sound of them. I'm only seeing one. I am hearing the sound of two, but I'm seeing one. They continue to push the dirt over the bankside all the way up around this area, and the trucks are being loaded also. One truck has just complete loading and it's on its way down at the southern end with the dirt, or probably on top of the fourth hill with this dirt, because there is where they were dumping them this morning. So I just want to say to you that it has been a pleasure coming here once more today to do the coverage here of the progress of the work at the Argyle International Airport site. And as I make my way out, I want to wish you all the best and thank you for taking the time out to view my footage as I bring to you week after week the progress of the work here at the Argyle International Airport site. I want to take this moment to wish you all the best for the week, and until we meet next week again, do have yourself a pleasant weekend.
We progressing, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a blessing. Where there is despair, there is hope. Light a candle, don't pass the dark.
Hello. Hi, Mom. It's your daughter Andrea. We've just landed at the Argyle International Airport.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Argyle International Airport.
JetBlue is landing, Delta is landing, British Airways landing, America